Hello, welcome to The Big Fight. Now, in the last few weeks, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but there have been a spate of articles and commentary saying it is time that India needs to move its capital away from Delhi. Delhi, an unlivable city by now. Take a look at the air pollution, take a look at the traffic that you've got, take a look at conditions. There are going to be 64 million people in the NCR, not manageable, not livable, let's move it out of there. And that's an interesting argument and an interesting debate to have. Leads to another debate, which is why is it that Delhi has particular problems, and the Aam Aadmi Party and others would no doubt argue that it's partly because of divided loyalties, and there are too many, there's a khichdi out there, too many different people trying to get their own way out, and that's why it's not possible to govern a city like Delhi. But actually, in this episode, we'd like to broaden it a little further by trying a thought experiment on all of you. Let's say the decision was taken to say, yeah, look, Delhi is unlivable, let's move the capital city out, let's move it to another city somewhere in India. The question then would arise, which one? And that's when you start to realize that actually city after city in India could be called unlivable. Every one of them seems to have its own problem. We know the issues around Mumbai and the things there, the flooding that happens and so on and so forth. Look at the issues in Bangalore. Look at the traffic out there. It takes you an hour and a half to get from anywhere to everywhere. Hyderabad, okay, maybe a little bit better, but there are huge issues in downtown Hyderabad as well. Kolkata, well, let's not even go there. It used to be a capital once upon a time, but do you really want to go back there? Lucknow and the cities in UP, come on, think of it. Air pollution, equally bad. Traffic, also horrible. So what do? It leads us to a bigger question, and that I think is what we really need to address. Urban India seems to be in decline across the board. City after city virtually becoming unlivable. And it's about time that we try to find some long-lasting solutions to that. And let's see if, along with finding us a nice capital, the panel can help us actually do this. So let me start by welcoming Vijay Jolly, who's, of course, had a lot of influence here in Delhi. He's been an MLA here in Delhi, so may have his own views about wanting to move away from here. Ashish Khaitan of the Aam Aadmi Party will, perhaps, I'm not sure that you want the capital to move from here, but you will almost certainly agree with the divided loyalty part, Ashish, as I can see from that big smile on your face when I was talking about it. Sharmisha Mukherjee, spokesperson of the Congress Party, will perhaps, well, I'll come to you and we'll see whether you think that Kolkata might be a possible contender at some point. And then it's great to have with us Sudhir Vora, architect, urban planner, and Vimlendu Jha, founder and head of Swecha, who will have their own views on the overall crisis. And Prahlad Kakkar joining us from Mumbai, and Mohan Guruswamy joining us from Hyderabad. Mohan, of course, moving from Delhi to Hyderabad, so maybe they have certain contenders in mind. So thank you all so much for joining us. Now, look, I'm going to come to that broader question, right, as to why all cities are in a mess. But this entire concept of moving the capital city out of Delhi, which so many people are suddenly writing about, is it a serious proposition that people are making or no? Or is it just venting their angst at what's happening?
With 1.9 crore population in the capital, with 1 crore 5 lakh registered vehicles in the capital, with the increasing level of pollution in the capital, with the people of the day giving their mandate to different political parties in different setups, in corporation to the BJP and in the Delhi to the Aam Aadmi Party, in the center to the Modi government, you have to take into consideration the demographic character of India. And the people coming over to the capital, wherever you have a new capital, sir, there is bound to be problems, but the basic political willingness to tackle those problems, the ever-increasing pressure of population, the ever-increasing
But that's across the country. That's not a Delhi-specific issue, right? And we'll come to that. Why is it that all cities are in a mess? And you're saying that, yes, there are particular problems. I'm sure Prahlad and others will argue that Delhi actually is a pampered city. Prahlad, I mean, many people in Mumbai and in other cities are actually saying, you know, what on earth are you guys in Delhi complaining about? Yes, there's air pollution. You have yourself to blame for that. Actually, Delhi is a bit of a pampered city when it comes to the amount that's spent there.
It's such a beautiful city. And all you need to do is take the people out of it. And it's very livable.
Okay. I want to ask you that, interesting theory. Lovely city, very nice. Try and find a way of removing the 22 million people who are members of the NCT or the 63 million people in the NCR.
Send them back to where they came from.
Send them where, Prahlad? Out of curiosity.
Back to where they came from.
Back to where they came from. And okay, now, I mean, is that a serious suggestion or you know, wherever you move them, there will be problems, no doubt. But okay, nice city, just figure out a way of what to do with the people. Mohan Guruswamy, you moved from Delhi to Hyderabad. Is Delhi a pampered city or no?
Of course, Delhi is a pampered city. Its per capita expenditure on development given by the central government is far, far higher than any other city in the country. So, you know, it is thoroughly pampered, and it, you know, doesn't collect as much taxes as money spent on it. So that is very clear. But, you know, whether Delhi is suitable as a capital is the bigger issue. It's a northwestern city now in the new Indian state. It made sense as the center of India at the time when India began at Bamiyan and ended in Bengal. But now Delhi is stuck into one corner of the country. It is very far from the south. It is very far from the east. And, you know, it doesn't represent anything. It's become a local city. It's become, you know, dominant influences in Delhi are the two neighboring states, and the policemen and, you know, the local government recruitment, all are from those states. You see very little of the south, for instance, in Delhi.
So where would you move the capital,
all these
Mohan?
political representatives.
Mohan, where would you move the capital?
I don't know, you know, maybe I would not move it to Hyderabad. Hyderabad is right now quite nice, and it will be wrecked completely if it becomes the capital. But I think,
and no doubt you're not just saying that because Ivanka Trump was there.
No, I moved out because of the pollution. I just couldn't hack it. You know, if you have particulate matter of 400 count every day, and you keep falling ill all the time, they're not worth living there. And that is an issue, you know. If you're going to have days when you're 999, like it was 2 days ago, it will become unlivable.
Yeah, and that's
and
actually...
you're not able to manage it because you have no government structures, and it's in a state of advanced collapse.
That, by the way, was the argument made by the Costa Rican ambassador, also moved from Delhi to Bangalore, and said that Delhi is not a safe place. It's an unlivable city, not safe, and it's not fair to put diplomats out there. That's one reason perhaps to move, because you don't want the international embarrassment of having, you know, India being declared a hazardous
And you also need a capital that's central.
Okay, but you're still to come up with a contender. So it's one thing to say move it, but where would you move it to?
If I had to be Muhammad bin Tughlaq all over again, I'd choose somewhere in the center of India, you know, somewhere a little north of Nagpur or, you know, south of Bhopal, somewhere there, right
Indore?
in the heart of India, you know. Maybe
that's sounding
Chhindwara,
Indore-ish to me, Indore, Nagpur.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people will say that. One of the reasons to move. I mean, I'm sure Vijay would say that, okay, it's one possibility to move it to Nagpur. I mean, RSS is there in any case, so it's not a bad idea to have everyone all.
We are very happy in Delhi. Delhi has always welcomed people from all over the country, whether Biharis or UPites or Maharashtrians or people from the South India also.
Okay, so you're very happy.
Have you had a Maharashtrian MP? Have you had a South Indian MP there?
Ashish, open season on Delhi right now. And one of the things that seems to be happening is the government in Delhi seems to be constantly saying, well, it's not entirely our fault. We don't have any powers. You know, half of the problems are there. You know, half the powers are there. Half the powers are there. What on earth do we do about it? Which is that contributing to the entire situation?
One, I find this proposition of shifting the national capital outside Delhi very elitist in its nature. I'll tell you why. Because when we are talking about shifting of capitals, we are basically talking of shifting politicians and bureaucrats.
Yeah.
Let's think it from the point of view of 20 billion people who are living in Delhi.
And 63 million people living in the NCR, which is actually perhaps a more appropriate way to look at it.
63 million people living in NCR. Noida is not national capital. Gurgaon is not national capital, but still they are living in the NCR region, and they will continue to live in NCR region. First, this conception or this notion that Delhi is a pampered state or a pampered city is completely misplaced, because when you say that Delhi is pampered and large amount of money has been spent on Delhi, the money has been spent for certain categories of people on certain categories of development projects, which is more flyovers, more roads, maybe more Commonwealth Game stadiums. But in a city where half the population is unsewered, is living in colonies which are unsewered, where half the population is living in unauthorized colonies.
Also, it's not just a Delhi.
Cannot be labeled as a pampered city. No, I'm just saying that you cannot call Delhi a pampered city when half the population is living in unauthorized colonies and slums, and half the Delhi doesn't have sewers, and 30% of Delhi doesn't have pipe water supply.
Fine.
So don't call Delhi a pampered city.
You've been in, now part of the issue is, is that you've been in power for a long time, but every time
3
somebody
years.
says
2.5 years. Long
Correct.
time is 2.5 years.
Okay, 2.5 to 3 years, but in these 2.5, 3 years, whenever things are going wrong, and a lot of things are going wrong, your attitude seems to be to say, what do we do? The Lieutenant Governor doesn't allow us to function, Modi doesn't allow us to function, XYZ doesn't allow us to function.
Our attitude has been that people of Delhi have given us the responsibility to correct this lopsided development. People of Delhi have given us a mandate, allow us to exercise a mandate and fulfill our promises. That we have been given responsibilities, we want enough powers to carry out our responsibilities.
Would you like it to become a state with full powers?
No, that's a key question. What do you mean by a state? A state is a government, a state has a government where the chief minister and the elected executive have the full powers to carry out their policies and programs. We want to have piped water supply in every house in Delhi. We want all of Delhi to be regularized.
That's what it comes down
to. The minimum powers, which is that the government of the day should have the means and the wherewithal to carry out its policies. Its policies should not be vetoed by unelected LGs and unelected bureaucrats.
So let me turn to
That's what we want.
I mean, the question keeps coming back, and I'm coming to other cities right now. If you think this is just a big rant about Delhi, I'm coming to all other cities because we can't find really too many good candidates out here. But just to finish this point off, what he said about there must be more powers. I mean, don't move the capital out of Delhi, try and fix what's happening in Delhi and give the chief minister, for example, a lot more powers, the adequate powers that are required. It would be fair to say that Sheila Dikshit managed to a larger extent. Again, it would be fair to say that it was also a Congress government at the center, so maybe the same conflicts didn't happen. What is happening out here? Is it a blame game that is taking place or what?
Well, Vikram, let me remind you that when Sheila ji assumed power, that time there was a BJP government at the center. And at 1993, when the first legislative assembly election took place and Shri Madan Lal Khurana became the chief minister of Delhi, that time there was a Congress government at power. So the structure has always remained the same, and within the same structure, within the same system, the earlier governments were able to deliver. Now these systems are run by people. If the people are not efficient, if the people are not competent, they are continuously indulge in blame game, then this is going to happen. Let me remind Mr. Ashish Khetan.
I have never seen the BJP nodding its head so violently in agreement with something a Congress spokesperson has said in years.
BJP are saying that they are the most competent people to run this country.
Actually they're saying that you're incompetent. That's what they are saying.
And Congress and BJP are very competent.
No, you see, the people of Delhi. The people of Delhi gave 67 seats to the Aam Aadmi Party in the last elections, not to play the politics of confrontation, to play the politics of conciliation.
He's saying the system has been the same.
Can I just give some data? Health is under them. In the last 2 years, forget about dengue, chikungunya, swine flu, we have seen cholera has risen by 190%. Diarrhea.
Cholera?
Yes.
In Delhi,
yes.
190%?
Yes, it's a Praja report. Between 2014 and 2016, 190% diarrhea, 6 lakh people.
How many cases is that?
It's in 2014, it was about 2,500 cases, and in 2016, it was 7,346.
7,300 cases of cholera in Delhi? That sounds high. Okay.
Yes,
it's worth checking out if that's really true. It adds to the perception that Delhi is unlivable. Not only do you have air pollution and undrinkable water, now there's cholera.
Undrinkable water, it comes through water contamination. The DJB is under them. What are they doing about that?
One second. Before I come to the two of them. So just on this point, she said that the same systems have operated in the past. Systems haven't changed. It's a question of competence.
See, the Congress party will always say that we are not competent, and BJP will always agree with Congress party. Health and education.
You are competent, but you are confrontationist.
Health and education, even our detractors would concede that in health and education, this government has done transformational work. Both in education, the Deputy Chief Minister, the Education Minister has brought about.
That's why from.
Can I complete?
Can you allow him to finish? And I want to broaden it. This is actually not a Delhi election campaign.
Students have run away from Delhi government schools in the last 2 years.
I will not heckle you. I don't believe in that kind of spokesmanship. Let me
make his point. Then I want to come to a broader issue.
The point is that even our detractors, our naysayers, will also concede the point that in education and health, this government has done transformational work. And also in water, and also in housing and unauthorized colonies. but the challenges are so huge today that we need to act faster, we need to act more decisively, and for that we want more powers. Okay. That's our contention.
More powers, fine. Now let me broaden it a little bit, because this is actually, a lot of this will be settled at the time of the next Delhi election, which is still mercifully 2.5 years away, so we'll worry about it then. The broader questions out here. One, and I just want to finish off this point about shifting Delhi, because a larger question then comes, even if you shift it, where do you shift it to? As a symptom of the urban chaos that is applying across the country, there are lots of reasons why Delhi is now becoming the test case, noticeably because the air is distinctly worse in other cities. What's causing it? Why can't we sort out the problems? Is it because of divided responsibility that he's saying there are too many people to blame? Is that the reason? Is it a lack of leadership? Is there something specific out here, or is it the same thing that we're seeing in every city?
We need a new capital. We need new town planning laws. Town planning as a word did not exist in my constitution till 1990s. The constitution under Schedule 18 or whatever said colonization of land, list 2. Our municipal acts originally came out only for 7 big cities, Madras, at one time Madras, etc. 70s or something is when the municipal acts came out. The last time we developed a new, not we as a country, was 100 years ago. The British decided to build a little thing called New Delhi, which is only 40 square kilometers. 40 square kilometers plus what we use now for what I call government action is only 5% of the total land of 1473 square kilometers of Delhi territory, not NCR. That's how small it is. We don't need to go to Hyderabad, we don't need to go to Indore, we don't need to go to Bhopal, we don't need to talk about maintenance of, this is all maintenance talk. Pani nahi hai, bijli nahi hai, sewer nahi hai, piche se badbu aa raha hai, there's a nala.
Yeah.
We need, if we have to be, I mean, since independence, our neighbors have built a new capital. Sri Lanka has built a new capital. Pakistan built a new capital in Islamabad. Canberra was built somewhere in the 1950s.
But can I just
we have to get out of this mindset of only fixing an extension to an existing city and build a new city.
The shifting of the capital is a way of focusing our attention on a problem. The problem that this is a city becoming unlivable.
No.
By shifting the by shifting the capital, right? You are shifting the politicians and the bureaucrats who frankly don't deserve to shift. They should be sitting here in the air, breathing the air and dealing with it. The real question is, why have we allowed 63 million people to sink into a level where an entire area is considered unlivable? That's the problem, and that won't be solved by shifting the capital.
No, when there is no other alternatives ever thought out as a new thing. Would you sit in an ambassador car today? No, you won't. You're looking for a new industry.
Hang on.
It has
shifting
to go out.
Can you move 63 million people
No,
to a
you
new
don't have to
city?
move them. They'll move automatically wherever
Fine,
there's
so
an
then
opportunity.
let's find a way to move 63.
But you have to move them into, you have to show them a better way of living,
Okay.
a better way of planning, a better way of building.
That means,
but a lot of better
okay,
things.
So then,
we haven't done it fresh in 70 years at all.
I hear what you're saying. Let's see if we can extrapolate that, because then, by the way, a number of other cities will come and hold up their hands and say, hang on, we are contenders too. Kolkata will say that. Bangalore will say that. Other cities will come up and say, look, it's Lucknow will say that. You know, the number of cities.
Why do you have to come to all those cities? Take another 100 square kilometers. Okay, Chandigarh is 70 square kilometers. Take 100 square kilometers of fresh new city, which is 100 kilometers away from anything in the neighborhood.
But as I'm saying, the question of shifting the capital is a small part of the total urban crisis that you're facing.
It will start, and I'm saying new municipal acts, new town planning acts, new ways of governance, all this embriglo of
So let's see how that
the larger
works.
picture.
Let me get me in before I go to Prahlad and
so I don't think the problem is the city or the population. In fact, the problem is the government and the governance. The reason why Delhi is in the state that we are in today, or other cities that we actually have. In fact, we can actually make a calendar of events for our country, and we know what will happen in Bangalore. Lakes will be frothing, Delhi will be smogging in November, there will be something or the other, Chennai will be flooding,
Mumbai will get
right?
flooded.
Every city is the same.
Kolkata will be...
Absolutely. You can shift a capital, but you know the problem is not that, because the problem is that the governments are not doing their bit. Imagine today, and the question is to every political representative, today also air quality index is 450. There's no stubble burning happening anymore. There's no firecrackers in the air. Why is Delhi's air 450 today? Which means that the problem is not of, all this while we've been looking at the other party didn't do enough or the other government didn't do enough. No government wants to really link public governance to public ecology, to public health. And imagine if 80 people die every day in Delhi NCR because of pollution issues, who is the custodian? Is the government. It's every government, be it the state government or the central government. Okay. So one last point, that at the end of the day, if we actually are widening this debate and saying that our cities are not livable anymore, it's because our politicians have to be really shunted completely because they have made our cities unlivable rather than the citizenry.
Okay, so let me now turn to that attention. Are our cities in general becoming unlivable? Prahlad Kakkar, let me ask you that question then.
If you look at Mumbai 20 years ago, it was far more livable than it is today.
Why?
The infrastructure, I guess, is not coping because we are not planning it properly.
Okay.
And we are not planning it because we don't have any sense of anticipation.
Hey, hang on, let me play devil's advocate out there. If you look at Mumbai, for example, some people will say, oh, they're building a trans-harbour link. Look at the Bandra-Worli sea links. It's so much better than it was X amount of time. And by the way, air is okay. So what's wrong with those arguments?
No, why is the air okay?
It's
not
better.
Okay it's not okay at all.
Get comes in at 2 in the afternoon.
Because
It's better than North India.
It's 400 AQI.
Thanks to sea breeze.
That's exactly what it is. And as long as we don't kill the ocean, which we are doing rapidly with plastic, you won't even get the sea breeze.
Okay.
So you're going to just suffocate in a smog and sink.
Prahlad not sounding very happy with the way Mumbai is going. Mohan, let me come to some of the southern cities, which, people are saying are, Bangalore used to be a test case. I'm going to try and get a voice from Bangalore in a couple of minutes. But Hyderabad, people are saying, look at it, look at this great show that was put up this week. Prime Minister Modi was there, metro inaugurated, Ivanka Trump there, holding forth on how great, on all the wonderful things that are happening there in Telangana. Is the south the answer? Chennai perhaps not as bad as some of the cities in the north?
The cities don't govern themselves anymore. The cities are governed by outsiders who come and, who capture political power and use them as their basis. Municipalities have no power. Their only job is to clean garbage and pick it up. The sewage is with somebody else, with the state government. The roads are with the state government. Electricity is with the state government. So, you don't really have anybody who's responsible for the well-being of people. So what Hyderabad is today, it will be like Delhi 20 years from now.